This is KGW News at noon.
We start today's news at noon with breaking news in Kelso, where police shot a suspect involved in a hit and run. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. We are working to get more specifics, but here's what we know so far. Police were called out to a hit and run crash at about 7 o'clock this morning on South 12th Avenue, about a block away from the Columbia River Mobile Park in Kelso. There was some kind of altercation and police shot the hit and run suspect. The suspect was taken to a medical facility, although it's not clear about the severity of injuries at this point. We do have a crew there in Kelso, and we're going to keep asking questions about this so we can try and figure out exactly what happened. Meanwhile, the historic Columbia River Highway will stay closed at least through tomorrow between Oneonta Creek and Multnomah Falls because of a brush fire near the falls. It started around 9 o'clock last night, and crews spent this morning mopping it up. Officials say the fire grew to about a half acre in size at milepost 33, but there's still no word on a cause. When we compare this year's wildfire season to last year, officials say so far more fires have been started by people. KGW's Joe Ranieri takes a closer look at the numbers that back that statement up, along with some reminders of ways we can all help prevent wildfires.
It has already been a long summer for crews working on wildfires across the state and throughout the Pacific Northwest.
We are still seeing just a little bit extra. And so because we're kind of having this really dry, windy, hot summer.
What that little bit extra is this year, according to Jessica Pracky with the Oregon Department of Forestry, is human-caused fires.
We have had 456 human-caused fires this year that have burned 3,721 acres, and that's on ODF protected lands only.
She says while it's not a big jump compared to this time last summer, they are on the rise.
As we go into August, we want to make sure that people are very aware that, one small action could cause a large wildfire.
A real concern heading into August isn't going to be just the heat, but how dry we've been across the state. PDX hasn't seen any measurable amount of rain at all this summer. The last time we saw a real soaker was back in late spring on June 19th, 42 days ago. Pracky says there are 3 things behind human-caused fires.
A lot of things. So the number one cause of human-caused fires in Oregon is debris burns. We've had several of those, a couple of campfires, and then it also includes cars, like, parking over dried grass.
She says taking preventative measures now.
Go and make sure that your car is serviced to make sure that there's no faulty parts.
Will go a long way to stop fires from even starting.
The more people can be aware, the better for us.
Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
All right, let's head over to Chris McGinnis in the Weather Center now. Chris, we just heard from Joe there in that story. We have not seen significant rain really for the entirety of this summer so far.
June 19th, as Joe mentioned, that's 42 days. Today will make 43 consecutive days without measurable rain. And that's not unheard of, right? I mean, we go long stretches of rain or long rain-free stretches in the summer. Our average rainfall for the entire month of July and August combined, just over an inch. So again, rainfall's pretty sparse this time of the year, but we've only had a trace since June 19th. That actually happened twice. So where does this stack up in memorable dry streaks? Well, we've got a little ways to go, but if you remember last year, we ripped off 67 consecutive days with a trace or less of rain, and our computer modeling suggests that we don't have any rain in the next 10 days. So we're starting to inch a little closer to that. You will see that through August 10th, our modeling does suggest at least the possibility for some showers popping along and east of the Cascades. This is very iffy. The Willamette Valley, most likely nothing. And that's not unusual, but of course it is very dry. Air quality issues continue to be a problem for Lane and Deschutes counties, downwind of course, the Bedrock fire burning in the Lane County Cascades, and that will continue to be an issue for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. The beach is beautiful. It's clear in Newport. It is mostly clear over downtown as well. Last check at PDX, we're 75 degrees. And Drew, I think we take yesterday's high temperature, we tack on a few degrees. So I have us at 87 today. It gets warmer in the 7-day. More on that coming up in just a few.
All right, thanks for that update, Chris. Right now, we do want to get back to some of this afternoon's local headlines. A woman's car is still stuck today after she crashed it into an embankment in rural Columbia County. She's okay, and she says it was a feature on her cell phone that actually helped save her life. The driver's name is Ashley. She told us she was heading home Friday night when her truck slid off the road. She says she tried to climb out of that embankment, but it was just too steep. So that's when she started yelling for help. And it's also when she used the SOS feature on her cell phone. That's what helped dispatch and a neighbor find Ashley.
When I first got on scene, I couldn't even see it. I was like, it was amazing that they found it.
I was so happy that they actually had people come and help me.
That was Ashley there, the second woman we heard from. Fire crews recommend knowing how your phone works as far as the SOS feature is concerned, because clearly from Ashley's story we learned that it can save your life. There are 2 new reports of cougar sightings in Cannon Beach, both west of Highway 101. Of course, you may remember this cougar from 2 weeks ago. It got a lot of attention, spending the better part of a day looking for birds there on Haystack Rock and shutting down parts of the beach before it moved on. It's not clear at this point if that's the same cougar that keeps popping up in Cannon Beach or if there are multiple cougars there. Here's KGW's Daisy Caballero with one family story and what to do if you have a close encounter with a cougar.
An 8-year-old and their family are reeling after an unforgettable moment this weekend. The child was attacked by a cougar on Saturday while camping at Lake Angeles in the Olympic National Park.
Luckily, the mom responded perfectly and quickly and started yelling and screaming at this cougar. It let the kid go and walked away.
It's currently unclear what the child was doing right before the attack, but they were taken to a local hospital with minor abrasions, scrapes, and punctures.
So happy that it was not a huge incident and that the kid is safe.
The North Willamette Watershed District has recorded 83 cougar complaints or sightings so far this year. They oversee areas from Portland to the Columbia River Gorge, down to Salem, to the coast, and the Cascade Range. And it was about 2 weeks ago when a cougar made it on Haystack Rock at Cannon Beach.
It's important to remember that Oregon is cougar country. We have about 6,000 cougars in the state.
Now, just this weekend, the city of Troutdale tweeted this out. 2 calls came in Friday morning about a possible cougar sighting in the Sandy Palisades area. I spoke to a neighbor that actually saw a cougar on Thursday afternoon.
And he slowly walked across this brown grass until he got to the chain link fence there on the right. And then he followed that chain link fence right up to the corner. And he just slowly went on his way around the fence.
So what should you do if you come across a cougar?
Stay calm, back away slowly, raise your arms, make yourself look larger than you are. If you have children with you, pick them up, but try to do that without bending down too much or turning your back on the cougar.
And in the rare event that you are attacked, fight back as best you can with sticks, rocks, and bear spray. You should never run away from a cougar, as that can trigger a chase response for the animal. Daisy Caballero, KGW News.